Hey, it's Filet, and you're watching Filet TV, the ultimate YouTube channel. I'm no cinematographer, just a dude with a camera and a dude with a bunch of zip ties. Anyways, today is part 7, I want to say, of my brilliant light purple dune buggy build, as well as part 2 of how to install a universal dune buggy wiring kit. So if this is something you're interested in, let's get started. All right, the other day I showed you how I did the back half, got the whole engine and everything wired up. And then this is a little look of how we did the dashboard. And it's sitting on a block getting ready to be installed once we get the hood and gas tank put into place. All right, hope you follow along. This is the wiring diagram that I used. Unfortunately, my kit did not come with one, but I did find another seller who posted a picture of the wiring diagram. So what I did is I kind of made a couple copies, laid it out, and started trying to identify the wires from turn signals, headlights, basic. I mean, I really know how to wire a bug. It's pretty simple. So all I had to really do is figure out what direction I wanted the wire to go, where it's headed, by looking at my schematic and looking back at the wires. So I just kind of laid everything out and went through it to figure out what was going on. And when you look at this part of the loom, it's pretty easy to figure out, that blue is going to be for warning light, that green is going to be for warning light, and then, red's going to go to alternator, the black's going to go to coil, brown, white, and yellow are going to be for taillights, and so on and so forth. So I'm basically figuring out where what goes. And in part 1, you can go back and look and you can see I hooked up everything in the back for the taillights and all that kind of stuff. And now I'm kind of just familiarizing myself, and first thing in the morning, I'm going to jump in there and wire up my dash module. All right, let me get you caught up what's going on. First off, we're babysitting my son's dog. So she's running around here like crazy, so I haven't really been doing much filming. Although, you remember my little dash module? Well, that's sitting into place. It's going to sit right there, maybe a little bit higher. Everything's wired in the back. So now I'm going to go ahead and start wiring and building the harnesses for the front. Okay, as you can see, this is going to be, all this will go to the speedometer. This here is going to go to ignition. And so what I wound up doing is I wound up putting a hole on this side, because I still have to feed a lot of wires out with the headlights and the brake lights and turn signals, all that. And I put a hole over here on this side because same thing, got to feed a few wires out, a couple wires in. But this will allow me to get the whole dash wired, semi-assembled and working. I got a turn signal switch coming today. And so we're going to just start sizing up the wires, putting connectors on them and getting them put into place. And then when it comes time, we'll just have a handful of wires to unplug, put the dash in, and then plug them back in. It should be nice and easy. Gonna go ahead and mount the fuse block. And like I said, we're gonna just start preparing wires. I gotta figure out what goes out here, and then I'm gonna seal this off right there. All right, I'll be back soon. All right, I do want to show you what's going on here. I got the new 6.5 inch wide BRMs for the back. You see tire size 275/60 15s. These things are monsters. I had appliance wheels on them and I just hated them, and I like the way these wheels fit better. I haven't test fit them yet to see if we have any rubbing going on. So we're hoping we won't have to go spacers, but let's do the wheels. All right, I bolted up my big old meats, but as you can see, we've got some rubbing issues on the spring plate there. So I just ordered some spacers. I ran these tires with the superior rims that I have, like this, and I didn't have any rubbing issues. But that definitely looks a lot better. So we're going to continue on that. Just got to space them out a little bit. All right, let me get you caught up on what's going on here. I'm not going to explain every wire, but you'll get the gist of it. I've got the wires coming from the fuse box, the wires coming back from the motor, the starter, the warning lights. Just put the jump wire that goes from the ignition to the speedometer. And that's ready to go. I've got in here, I got my turn signals and headlight wires stowed. Same for the driver's side. This is turn signal. We can move that out of the way. I got my brake light switches made. They're the wiring for the brake light switches. Here we have for the horn. And this is the other side of the turn signals. All right, we're starting to button up everything nicely. All right, we're gonna take a little break for now. We're gonna come back and hit it hard tomorrow. It's Easter Sunday. I got no plans except for wiring. Be back soon. All right, this is what I'm gonna run for a universal turn signal switch. That's what I had on my last buggy. It was kind of cool because it had built-in four-way flashers, which I didn't think they were hooked up, but they worked great. So this is what we've got. We've got 6 wires. Unfortunately, did not come with a wiring diagram, but between these 6, we'll figure these out. Yeah, let's just take one look at the back side of this. I want to clean these harnessed up as much as I can and get this stuff stowed away so it looks presentable. That's why nothing's really tight there yet. I got to cut all these zip ties once I figure out which ones are staying in pair. All right, pizza time. All right, back at it. Sunday morning. It's Easter. Happy Easter, everybody. There's my Easter colors. Yo! All right, so here's a little pile of all the wires that are left over. Remember, this is a universal kit, so it'll also work like on a Baja Bug. So on the DUNE buggy, it's 14.5 inches shorter, so you get a lot of extra wire, which is great. All right, so back here, I've got everything hooked up, except for I still got to do the electric fuel pump. That's the next thing. So I've been kind of grouping these together and zip tying them into certain harness. Like here you'll have everything for dash lights and turn signal relay. I've still got to shorten this wire. It's about 5 inches too long, and I don't like that. I've had to make a couple of these longer because they were just so tight, and if you have to take them out, you'll never get them back into those holes. So I was able to make a little jump to get that working better. So behind the dash, everything's hooked up, turn signals, everything, but I still have to disassemble all this when I put the dash together and the hood and everything on. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to snip this across here, and I'm going to put on new connectors once I get the dash frame and everything in. So I don't have to try and tangle with getting all this through that hole. And then it'll all be covered in a sheath and hidden, and hopefully the same thing here. I think I've got some of this tubing here that's big enough that I could actually close that off if I wanted to. Make it look a little bit better. Okay, up front, got all the lines stowed. All my brake lights going on there. This is going to be for a horn. We've got headlights and turn signals in this one, and the grounds for it are underneath and already hooked up. And the other side, same thing. All the grounds are down here, and the loom's going to go across here. Fuel pump's all stowed. Still got to do some trimming. And I'll show you these little tabs that I've been gluing into place that I can put zip ties on. I keep the zip ties loose so I can move them while they're drying. And then I'm going to go ahead and just zip tie the rest of this and clean everything all up. Got a ground wire here that is going to ground out everything on the dashboard. And that's just has to be hooked in right there, and we're grounded. We should be able to get a battery in it, except I don't have headlights put into place, so maybe I will go ahead and mount those. And again, I don't want to wire those up because I have to cut the wires to take the headlights out again. So I've got the front half wired. We did the last half of part 1, or which is actually part 6. And we're just going to continue cleaning this up and just tightening up this loom as best we can with zip ties. And I think this time around, the hood and gas tank and everything's going to be the last thing. So I'm going to go ahead and get this ready to go, get a battery into place, and start testing these systems. All right, we're kind of buttoning it up on this one. We've got the whole dash is wired, ready to start testing. I've got looms built for all the power and transfer of the switches. I've got a loom together for the warning lights and turn signal relay. I've got another loom put together for steering, or actually, sorry, got another loom put together for turn signals. I just have to cut it there and re-splice everything later. Fuse box is all hooked up and ready to roll. Underneath, it's all tidy, ready to roll. Got brake lights hooked up. I've got a lead going for the horn. I've got a couple of extra ground wires if needed. All I have to do under here is drill a hole, mount my headlights, wire my turn signals on both sides, and then start testing the system. So that's going to be next. All right, there you have it. Oh, let's look at down here. Here we've got whatever spare wire I have left. Okay, I had to cut and change a couple of ends, but that's all the wire I have left. And like I said, dune buggy, 14 inches. So I was able to have enough to do everything splicing I need. We've got the aftermarket turn signal switch. And like I said, ready to start testing. All right, that's it. Hope this makes it a little easier for you guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Talk to you later. Ciao.